Okay. All right. So
Wait, hold it down up there, please.
I did this. I did this piece with with Nicolazo, and I decided it would probably be better if we used Aurelian or I've got Azo, just plain Azo paint here. The it's just a little bit lighter yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this whole lemon, and you want to keep it real thin and light, especially at the top. So, gee, that might even be too much color there. Now down here, I don't mind if it's stronger. So, and I'm just putting it on dry paper because I really want this to dry fast because this has got us in a holding pattern here. We're going to do that. And that's the last of that paint we're going to use. So at that point, so I've got a little bit in the tube here. Whoops. All you need is like a smidgen. Okay, then while that is drying, you're going to mix up a super dark. And I don't care what you use. Like, oh gee, that moon glow might be a nice start. You could use moon glow. In fact, you could probably just use moon glow, but maybe you want to make it a little darker or a little more like a black. And I'm not going for pure black, but ooh, look at the way that's separated. Let's see if that shows up on the video. See how that's...
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, look at that. So I guess it's already separated up here in the top where I've had it pretty wet. And that's probably part of it. So the thing is, this needs to be really strong. So that's why I was saying wet down your paints, and I want everybody to get in the habit of doing that the first of class. So all you're doing is getting this ready, and you may, because you're not going to use it yet. So maybe I'll put a little burn umber with that, because that'll, maybe that's too much burn umber. Let's just go back and get a little more of this, and that gives me something pretty good. And I don't want it thoroughly mixed because I'd like a little life in this. But we're going to try to put it on super dark because the real lesson in this whole thing is about. And by the way, I'm going to have to get clean water after that, just to let you know. You probably will too. So make sure you've got enough to cover that background area. I don't need it now. I just meant that, that you're going to want to keep this orange pretty clean when you're working on it. So you're doing this and you're mixing that. And like I said, be sure you mix up enough and then stop. And by then, maybe this will be starting to dry and we'll start painting it. Okay, so I had pre-wet. I had pre-wet this area, and what I did was I pre-wet. You can see here where we've got a light area. I think it's a little too light, but we've got a really light band there. So I pre-wet from there all the way down to where that band would be. And the band does not need to be even. In fact, it's best if it's not too even. Whoop. Okay.
Well,
So
I won't have to worry about it.
yeah, no, you probably won't. So I'm going to start out with a little brush here, and we'll see. What I've got here is New Gamboge and coral. Yeah. So that gives me a light orange, and you notice there's more yellow in this than there is coral, and you can see it's pushing the creamy side just a little bit because I've got this pre-wet. So let's see. Let's start right there. Let's see what it's going to do. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to be sure not to get the color all the way up here, except when I want it there. Well, that's different. We'll talk about that later. So, but this is going to be my lightest version of the orange, and it can, oops, I forgot about that edge. the edge that I just told you to watch out for. But I thought I'd bring it all the way down here. And basically, I'm just painting in some areas. It depends on how wet your paper still is. You know, maybe I could get this a little bit stronger. Do little bits. There could be a tiny bit up here, but I don't want it to get very strong. We're going to need something of an edge up there to against the whites. So maybe I'll put just a little bit more right along there, but then I want to leave most of it light. So I'm just working along here like that. And as I come into a slightly drier area, my paint changes a little bit. So I have to change my method a little bit. And I may add a little bit of water in here. Try to just keep it really, really soft and that kind of treatment all the way up. And you notice, and I didn't do this as well as I should have right here. It would be better if this part right here stayed a little paler than what's in your example. Because the light's coming through, this is a narrower part of the slice, so it should not be as dark as down here. So I like I said, it's an imperfect example, as they usually are. So just a little bit and get just a little less going on up there. And work around, and then we'll come back to other things. Okay. So one of the things you'll see here is that it looks like this is overlapping that area, and that is a shadow under there. It shouldn't look like that at all. All right. So we're gonna work on fixing that in a little bit, somewhere in there. Right now, I think in order to gauge this properly, that you probably need to have this area painted in next. I did revise my drawing right up in here. You're going to notice a difference because it should taper there. So, okay. So we're going to paint this little area down under here. And another problem with this is I use burnt umber to help make my orange go dark. But the problem is I have a little too much burnt umber there, and it looks like the peel is getting dry and old. Yeah. Yeah, and you might want an aged looking, you know. I have plenty of those at my house. But
An antique orange.
yeah, an antique orange. So I mixed some, I used New Gamboge and Quinn Rose here. That's going to be for the next layer on the lemon orange. The fruit.
Rose.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. But now we also are going to need a deeper, richer one. So we're going to use Quinn Gold, which I did not use before, but I decided that was, you know, what's a painting without it? But also because this will give us a richer orange without as much burnt umber. Okay, so we don't need a whole lot of that one. And then we're going to put a rose here. So now we've got a pretty rich orange. That's a pretty nice rich orange. Let's just add a little burnt umber, maybe here to the side. And then I can kind of mush it in. Oh, that's too much. Oh, now they're running together. Oh, horror.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure that's going to be what I want. I think I better take some of the brown out because it's just flooding my other beautiful orange. I can always add more burnt umber later if I want it. So what I'm going to do here, let's go this way. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start out with just the orange mixture that has no burnt umber in it. And I'm going to lay that in down here. Oh, I think that's not near dark enough. Now I'm picking up some burn umber, and I'm getting stronger because I think it needed it. So now it's just not strong enough. And by strong enough, I mean that I don't have enough paint to water ratio here. So I'm adding a little bit more. Oh, gee. I'm going to add more and more Queen Gold. I just want the paint thicker. I hate to use that word thick when I'm talking about watercolor, but okay, so I need to keep these outer edges wet. And what we want to do is we want that to be a little bit of a reflected highlight down here. And so we're going to get this darker as we go up. I think I'm going to add a little touch of water there and work on the other side first. So let's just go on up. A little bit of burn umber into it. The Queen Gold kind of fills in the need for burn umber. We don't need much, if any. When in doubt, get out your Queen Gold first. Yeah, so there. Okay. Now I need to get up some of this water because otherwise my paint will be too thin. And then we'll work up this direction. Oh, I don't have as much to put on this side. Now, this lesson is about contrast, but it's also about individuation, which I don't talk enough about in here. But what we want is, we want each part of this, oh, too much burn umber. Let's go back with the orange. Okay, so what we want is we want every part of this orange to be slightly individual. We don't want all the slices to look the same or all the areas here to look the same. We want them to have variety. And okay, so I know that's a lot of hassle running over here over just that little part. Oh, this isn't dark enough up here. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. Now save that mixture because you're going to need it in a lot of places. Go do that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to lay the stuff underneath.
The shadow part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so I think this is going to be a brighter look. So, see, I've learned something because I rarely ever, use these pigments, these really light yellows. But obviously there's a place for them. All right, so we have this shadow underneath here. And we got this bowl. And you can see the bowl's got some color changes in it too. The video that I got this from, the woman had a lot of orange down here. And the thing is that this bowl would not be reflecting the orange down there, but
The bottom.
it makes a good color change to have something in there. You could use something else if you wanted. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pre-wet this end. Ooh. Got yellow in there. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's just going to be yellow because I didn't change water. I don't need to change water. Don't anybody go get water. But so I'm going to dampen that down this way. Okay, so let's come in with our background color. Oh, look, that's dried. Okay, so we don't want it super dark. You can see the separation here. I've got some more browns in here. There's that purpley color, and there's probably some in-between stuff. So that's nice to have those different little areas you can pick into here. So let's see. This end is dry. And what I want is, I want a decent value of shadow here, but it doesn't have to be anything like as dark as the background. But I'm using the same pigments. So there, maybe I just touch in just a little bit. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, color there. So let's just see, when you have a problem like that, see, you just touch it in, it's wet enough, it just blends itself, hopefully. All right, so I think I need a little more color going this way. Now I'm still on dry paper. And then you could start adding orange in anywhere along here, and that's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take my mid-tone orange that I've got mixed over here that I haven't used yet, and I think I'm just going to touch a little bit of that in right here. And I'm following the edge of that plate. This is not a very good imitation of what that plate looked like. Okay, so now, I think I want a little bit more of that same background color. I think I'll add that in. Let's come up this way, and now, I don't have water there. I need water there. Now I'm going to start adding in. See, this is my wet area. Oh, back run. And I'm going to start adding in some orange. Now, if I've got a back run, there's more than one way to handle it. And you know, you can always tilt your paper too, and that helps if a background's starting to develop. So right here. And oh, well, see, I'm getting an edge there. That this paper is still damp underneath, but it's not very damp. And then we're going to fade it out. So a little more water, something like that. And I think I'm going to keep that tilted. And I'm going to add more water here. Just let it disappear. You can see that this is developing, even with it tilted, a little bit of a back run up that way. Sometimes it will literally go uphill a little bit. So I just need, I'm going to add in a little bit more color here, and I'm going to dampen and just talk to it gently. Be nice. Be very, very nice. Whoa. Sometimes, and this brush is just barely touching the paper. So it looks like I'm brushing a lot, but a lot of the time I don't even think I'm making contact. Who knows? I'm just looking at the results. I still don't like that. Just pick up a little bit more. A bit there. See if I can get it to run down this way. I'm still getting a bit of an edge. I think I'm just going to live with that. Well, no, I don't think I want to live with that. Never mind. Let's talk to it here a little bit. Dry brush, pull some up. Let's see what happens if we go back in here this way with a dryish brush and just, okay, that's better. That's better. I don't know about that curving up that way. I don't think that's supposed to do that, but you know, it's an orange. I don't care. Yeah. So then let's take some of our mid-tone color, and I think we'll go ahead and dampen this again. Just trying to decide whether to stay in these lines or those lines or some other lines. Who knows? So I'm just going to wet a couple of wedges here. And let's go in and with our mid-tone mixture that we did a while ago. And we're just going to start building a little bit. And the video that I watched, I think there were 4 or 5 layers of this. I think 3 should get it. And we're just building up here a little bit again. And unfortunately, the only example you have to look at, oh, I should have, oh, did I? No, I did not. I should send out the photos from the video, the real video, with the real artist doing it. So you can see the, what the original orange looked like, for instance. But here, for instance, oh, I don't want to go too far up. Now this one, we could make this one a little darker. And then the one over here, let's get a little paler with it. And right now, these edges are merging in. We haven't painted that line in between them yet. But, let's see. Don't try to get all the way dark yet.
So you're not putting any orange in, any more in that rind part, right?
We are going to add some.
But not right now.
But not right now. And I don't think maybe the rind should be that color anyway. Isn't the rind
Yeah, it seems a little dark.
it's a little like
Yeah.
more white. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got more gray or something to it. It's not. Yeah. So let's treat that separately. So something about like that. Again, we got to keep some lights here. You can always pull a little bit up too. Okay. So, and you notice I'm still tilting it because I'm trying to keep from getting too strong. But that's a nice effect.